Welcome to the Visualize Meditations podcast, hosted by your gal pal, Sasha Patil, a Chopra certified meditation teacher, athlete, and adventurer. This is a place where high performance and health meets fulfillment and fun. Each week, I'm bringing you guided visualization meditations and honest solo sessions where I share personal development, my most unhinged stories, and intimate interviews. Whether we're chatting wellness, achievement, or building an aligned community, we're here to create the life of your dreams and have an absolute blast doing it. Hi, hello. What the hell is up? Welcome back to another episode of the Visualize Meditations podcast with your gal pal, Sasha. How are you? What's going on? I honestly would love to hear from you guys. Podcasting can be very, very one-sided. It can be a very one-sided platform. So I love chatting with you guys. And the relationships I do have with my listeners, honestly, they're next level. I love getting testimonials from you guys, but more often than not, I love chatting with you one-on-one via DM, text, whatever, about what's going on in your lives and things like that. So it's really nice to have that kind of back and forth relationship with something that is naturally very one-sided. So how the hell are you guys? To paint the scene for you right now, you may recognize this background. I am currently at my grandma's house outside of Athens, Georgia. And I'm here, I'm hanging out. My mom and I are taking a little road trip, and we've been road tripping up and down the East Coast, visiting family and exploring some towns we've always wanted to explore. And it's been really nice in some ways and really not nice in other ways. In some ways that it's just amazing is, when do you get this kind of quality one-on-one time with your mom? Especially as a adult in my late 20s, I don't take for granted the fact that I get to spend an extended period of time with my mom. And I'm so grateful for our hours in the car together and the fact that we are able to go visit family together and just able to explore all these new places together and just have this great quality time. And the same goes for the rest of my family. We visited my grandpa outside of Hilton Head, South Carolina, and now we're here outside of Athens, Georgia, visiting my dad's side of the family. And there are about 10 family members that live here in this town. So it's been really nice to have this quality time with them and to make memories and to enjoy each other's company and to break bread and share stories. And, you know, it's been great. And my mom and I are exploring towns that we've always wanted to explore. We explored Wilmington, North Carolina, which is a town I wanted to explore because I'm a huge One Tree Hill fan. And after this, we're going to another town my mom wants to explore because she's thinking about retiring there. Really just enjoying really good quality family time and being present with them as much as possible. So that has just been what's been going well. As far as what's not been going well, obviously when you go to visit family, family dynamics can be challenging. And we see this a lot during the holidays. We see this a lot during Thanksgiving, during Christmas, when you're spending a lot of time with your family. And I think it could be a very stressful time for people, not only because it's the end of the year and end of Q4, and there are a lot of things that happen with work typically at the end of the year. You're dealing with either hosting or getting gifts or sorting out times or sorting out logistics of travel or splitting holidays with your family or just figuring out how it's all working together. And it can be a very stressful time, but I think it's something that people don't talk about a lot. Is something else that is very stressful about that time is family dynamics. And typically when you go and spend time with your family, you are inserting yourself into an environment where people can fall into old patterns. And I think I see this a lot when I go home to my childhood home. Is I go home and I'm like, different year, same shit. It's the same stuff over and over again. When you go to an environment, you naturally are a product of your environment, and you naturally can fall into the patterns of being in that environment. When a lot of family is together, naturally things can fall into patterns that might not be the best. It might not be the best for everyone's physical health or for their mental health. And I've seen it impact me. I've seen it impact my mom. I've seen it impact every family member we've come to visit, both in, great ways and in negative ways. When you go and visit family and when you spend great time with them, it's amazing to touch base and to connect and to build memories. But on the other hand, you can fall into patterns. I've been observing toxicity in some ways, and it can be really challenging. And also I feel really spread thin. I don't know how I managed to do this during my year of travel in 2025, where I traveled to 13 countries and 60 cities in 1 year. If you wanna watch what I did a video of every single day that I was away. I did 365 days fit into 300 episodes on my personal social media, so if you wanna watch me travel and do all these crazy things all over the world, go back and watch. It was wild. While I was doing that, I was balancing my 9 to 5 job, my business, and travel, and then emotionally processing through everything I was going through, which was a lot at once. I was spread so thin. I don't know if I ever spread myself so thin in my life. I came back from my year of travel completely burnt out to a crisp. And it took me a nose job and 5 days of sitting and doing nothing, watching TV to actually regain any sort of energy. Haha. My therapist was like, "Why do you need to get a surgery in order to stop, slow down, and take a break?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know. I don't know. I don't make the rules, but I'm here and it's happening." That's kinda what was happening there, and now, again, the negative piece of this is I feel really, really spread thin. I don't know how I managed to do that last year with the travel and balancing everything, but now, as I'm moving more into my entrepreneurship journey, it's becoming very challenging to balance the 9 to 5 and the travel and the business and being present with my family and my health. I feel like I am not balancing it the best, and I'm definitely having to make sacrifices in some areas that I really didn't want to. I feel like my physical health has been sacrificed a little bit in this time. I feel like my career is not sacrificed because I'm still working, but I'm not producing the quality and quantity at which I'd like to. And I'm balancing all of that while also just wanting to be as present as possible with my family. So it's feeling really challenging in that way, but it's something I'm navigating. It's something I'm figuring out as I go. And also, I'm just really looking forward to going to LA. I'm counting down the days. I'm counting down the days until I'm back in LA because I'm really looking forward to being in routine and really focusing on my business and taking entrepreneurship full time and really just diving into these things I care about. And I love who I am when I'm in LA. I really love how I prioritize my health and my creativity and my business, and my family relationships feel good because I'm able to have enough of a boundary to chat with them when I want to, and we can talk on the phone when we want to, but we're not up in each other's faces all the time, all day, every day. And I really like my friendships there, but also I have the time and energy for my long distance friendships. And I really just love who I am in LA. And it just feels so much like home. My spirituality is, I've never felt more connected than when I did in LA. And I'm really, 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 really looking forward to going back. I'm really looking forward to going back and to immerse myself in a life, and it's been really nice and interesting to go back to all these old lives and go back to all of these dynamics, if that's in Paris or New York or my hometown or visiting my family and be like, "Okay, I really love these lives. I've built full, very happy lives in all of these places, but it's not necessarily the life I see or want for myself at this moment." Like, I really am looking forward to building my own life, putting roots down, and committing to this next chapter when I'm moving to LA in a very short while. I'm counting down the days. I was voice messaging with a friend yesterday, and there's something that I talked about there, and she said, "Oh, wow, that is so relatable." And that thing is when you address the thing that's bothering you, that thing goes away. And this is something I've been working on with my therapist for, I'd say, about a year now at this point, is there are all of these things that were not sitting well with me. If that was my relationships with friends or romantic partners or my work or my family, and there were things and dynamics that were really bothering me. And instead of going and talking to that person, or instead of dealing with that situation head on, I would just not. I would just sweep it under the rug. I would talk to other people about it. I would talk it in therapy about it. I would go deal with it with a workout. I would go drown myself in work, and I just wouldn't deal with the thing that was bothering me. And the thing would get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually it would just fall apart, or I would explode, or it would just become a disaster. And something I was working on with my therapist is he said to me, "Well, what would it look like if you started to address the thing that was bothering you head on?" And this was a practice that I saw in a handful of different areas in my life, and I'll give you 3 to 4 examples now of that. The first I'll give is I had a friend, and I can't say that we're friends anymore, but I had a friend in Miami who I loved very, very dearly. We developed a friendship over a couple of years in Miami. We hung out multiple times a week. I'd say some of my closest friends in Miami. It would be a relationship where this person would call me and be like, "Hey, can I come over to your apartment for like 10 minutes after work? Because I just want to talk about my day and bring holiday gifts." And it was just like a really, really nice relationship. They'd text me and be like, "Hey, I'm doing this thing at a local bar in like 20 minutes." And I'm like, "Okay, great, I'll be there." We showed up for each other, and I did end up seeing them a couple of times last year. And the thing that's challenging is I was the one who left Miami, and that friend ended up kind of taking sides with my ex, which honestly kind of made sense. Like, at first, it really hurt me because I was like, "Oh, well, we've had a relationship for 2 years. You weren't that close to my ex. Like, why are you guys closer friends now?" But then after therapy, I realized, like, you know what? I'm the one who left. I'm the one who left that life. I'm the one who didn't just leave my relationship. I left my entire life there. I left my community. I left my friends. I left everything behind, even my forks. I left it all behind. And that includes some of the friendships, and it was unfair of me to kind of expect, that same type of friendship or for life to stop while I left and to not move on, and it did. And I went back to Miami a couple of times, and I went back 3 times last year, and this friend blew me off. Blew me off. One time, it was very blatant. He ended up taking sides with my ex instead of me as far as inviting one of us or both of us to a party. That was, like, the first time I went back, and it's like, "Okay, fine." Very clearly, like, you want to choose the other side, which is okay, fine. The second time I went back was my birthday, and this friend completely blew me off, knew it was my birthday, didn't answer texts, didn't see me, had the opportunity to see me, and did not. And the third time I went back, I didn't even say anything because it wasn't worth it anymore. I was observing how they were treating me, and it wasn't how I liked, and I was like, "Okay, I can't deal with this anymore." And I did end up seeing them one other time through the year, but that was, like, a very separate situation, and we were great. And at that point, I was like, "Okay, you know what? I want to nurture the relationships that nurture me." So I kinda distanced myself. I stopped reaching out. I stopped all kind of communications. I was like, "Okay, if you don't wanna be my friend, fine, no big deal." And I ended up going to San Diego for the first portion of 2026. And in that time, we have a lot of mutual friends in common, and I was hanging out with a lot of our mutual friends during this time. And this person ended up flying to San Diego and ended up calling me out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, like, what are you doing this week? Like, I want to see you." Okay, great. Like, that sounds great. And we ended up getting a dinner together and having a great dinner together. And after the dinner, I remember chatting with him, and I was like, "Hey, listen, like, that stuff that happened in Miami, like, really upset me. Like, I felt like you were choosing sides. I feel like I'm not really being prioritized as a friend." And I really addressed the thing head on after a year of me not saying anything, swallowing it, accepting treatment that didn't feel good anymore. And the response I got back was really nice, where it was like, "Yeah, listen, like, it's really difficult for me because I feel like I do kind of have to choose sides. I feel like I do have to choose between you and your ex because I live in the same city as your ex and we still have a friendship and I don't want to break bro code and things like that." And after talking to him about it, and I just said, like, "Hey, listen, it hurt my feelings, and like, you and I have our own relationship. We have our own separate thing. It makes me sad that you feel like you have to choose sides when that's not the case at all. There's no bad blood between me and my ex. He's a great and lovely person, like, incredible human. But why did these relationships have to be so intertwined when they're not? And when we always had our separate friendship outside of my relationship anyway." And being able to sit and chat with him about it really helped because once I addressed the thing head on that was bothering me, we were able to have a conversation about it and understanding where he came from. I heard his perspective and he heard mine. And then we were able to just kind of move on and let it go and say, "Okay, like, my feelings were hurt. This was your perspective on it. I totally understand where you're coming from. And then how do we move forward? And how do we move forward in this new phase of our relationship where we can both feel happy about it?" And we ended up chatting about it, and it ended up feeling way, way better. I will say I'm not really friends with this person anymore, honestly, kind of the same issue, but over a different guy where I felt like he was taking sides again. And I was like, honestly, it's not really worth my time or energy. I don't really want to be in a relationship or a friendship where I'm not wanted and not prioritized. So I just decided to kind of wipe my hands clean of it. But in that moment when I was addressing the thing that was bothering me, that thing subsided, that thing got smaller instead of when I wasn't addressing that thing, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And it was so upsetting to me. I cried so much over this friendship without communicating about it. But then as soon as I communicated about it, it just subsided. And I saw the same thing happen with my family as well. I have some cousins who I felt like our relationship was very one sided, and I was always the one reaching out. I was always the one to come visit. I was always the one to show more care and affection in the relationship. Last time I came to visit these family members, I said, hey, listen, these are all the ways that I've been showing up in this relationship. I've been calling, I've been texting, I've been visiting 1 to 2 times a year. I've been doing all of these things, and it's not really reciprocated, and I know you're busy, and I know you have your own life going on, and, like, that's okay, and I just wanna let you know that it makes me feel sad. I wish we had a closer relationship, and I feel like our relationship is very one-sided. And as soon as I said the thing, we were able to have a very open and honest conversation about that and about why and about their perspective. And I was able to say, okay, great. Like, you were able to hear me out. I was able to hear you out. We have resolved this. And now let's move forward. What does the future of our relationship look like? And I said, this is what I'm going to do. I laid it out XYZ. I said, this is what I'm going to do to maintain our relationship. I'm going to send a voice message or a text or a call once a month with an update about what's happening in my life. If you want to do that, to reciprocate, great, and if not, okay, but this is what I'm doing to keep my side of the street clean. I'm still going to continue to visit once or twice a year, and if you wanna reciprocate that, great, and if not, this is it. And I said, "Listen, I'm gonna continue to do this, and if it becomes too much of a burden on me because the relationship feels one-sided, I'll minimize that, but for now, like, this is what I'm going to continue to do." And we were able to say, okay, great. And since then, I've continued to hold out my end of the bargain. I continue to reach out, and sometimes it's reciprocated, sometimes it's not. And you know what? I'm not here to love with the expectation to receive. I am here to absolutely love and to give as much as I can to the people around me. And whoever wants to reciprocate, great. I have other relationships in my life that are so fulfilling. Like, it doesn't really matter. I have friendships who are texting me out of the blue being like, "Hey girl, how are you? We need to talk." They're sending me voice messages, I'm sending them back. Like, I have so many other relationships in my life that are so fulfilling that if some relationships are not necessarily feeling as fulfilling as I'd like them to be, that's okay. I'm filling up my own cup, and I have other relationships that are filling up my cup as well, and that's totally fine. And the third example I'm gonna give is actually with work. I was experiencing some tension with a teammate for about 6 months or so, and it got to a point where my therapist was like, "You need to say something because every time this person is calling you or starting a huddle with you or sending you a Slack, your anxiety levels spike, your stress levels go through the roof. You need to say something, address the thing that's bothering you head on, and then it will subside." And the next time I got on a meeting with that team member, I said, "Hey, listen, like, I know this is the feedback I've been getting." And it was a tone that was really making me feel very nervous, very anxious, and very stressed. I said, "I know that this is the feedback I've been getting for the last couple of months, and my goal is to never get this piece of feedback again. I want to make sure I'm improving. I want to make sure I'm taking this feedback into consideration and always becoming better. And I really appreciate the feedback I've been getting because it's making me a better person, a better employee, a better worker, whatever, and it's helping me develop my skills. On top of these things that I'm getting feedback on, is there anything else I should be doing? Because the way I've been getting the feedback has been a lot and it's felt nerve-wracking to me, and I want to make sure I'm doing a good job." And the response I got was great. The response was, "Wow, your approach and your perspective on feedback and growth is so mature, it's so helpful, it's really, really great, and I really appreciate it. And I see that you're improving, I see that you're working through it." And me addressing it and me addressing the tension head on, me addressing the feedback head on, me addressing the fact I was feeling very nervous head on, all of these things, when I addressed it head on, it subsided and it went away. And we were able to, again, I was able to communicate my perspective. They were able to communicate their perspective. We were able to sit down, get an agreement, wipe the slate clean, and say, how do we move forward? And that's the too long didn't read here is what you resist persists. If you are avoiding something, if you're avoiding having a conversation, if there's something that's bothering you and you're avoiding dealing with it, it will get bigger. That lump that you're sweeping under the couch, that thing just grows and grows and grows and grows. And eventually it's a mountain and the rug is just sitting there on top like a little snow capsule on top of this mountain of issues that you're dealing with instead of just fucking dealing with it. So what you resist persists. And when you deal with the thing that's bothering you head on, it subsides, it gets smaller. You can deal with it. You can actually address it. And oh my God, it drives me absolutely nuts. When I see it happening with other people, I'm like, oh my God, if something's bothering you, go deal with that thing. Because it's not worth your time and energy spiraling in your head over and over again. And it's not worth the stress that you're experiencing. It's not worth the physical chaos you are putting your body in. It's not worth the mental toll that you're paying. It's just not worth it. Go deal with the thing that's bothering you head on, and that thing will go away. It's like eating the fucking frog. Eat the frog, deal with the thing, do the thing. Stop sweeping it under the rug. And listen, if you're dealing with a relationship that's bothering you, if you're dealing with something at work, if you're dealing with something in your health, any area of life, if something is bothering you, I'd say specifically with other people, but in general, if something that's bothering you, go and deal with that thing. I think it's been something that's really, really helped my relationships and really, really helped me develop my relationships and strengthen my relationships is just be like, hey, like when we have this interaction, it really bothers me. Or, hey, this situation is really causing me a lot of stress. This is what I'm experiencing. Are you experiencing that too? What's your perspective on it? Okay, let's talk about it and like wipe the slate clean and let's move forward. Let's move forward. Let's stop sweeping this under the rug. Let's take it that vacuum. Let's take that dust and throw it the fuck out. Okay? I'm tired. I'm tired of resisting things. I'm tired of the bullshit, honestly. You know, if you take anything away and if there's something that's eating at you, if there's something that's been bothering you, go address it. Go deal with it. Oh my God, stop bitching about it and just go fucking do something. Seriously. Okay, it's a little bit of tough love, but you know what? Maybe you needed to hear it. If you're listening to this, you probably did. It's something I've been sitting on. It's something that I've practiced in the past, and it's something that I'm not an expert at by any means. It's something I am working at and working on constantly, and it's something I think about constantly. And it's something I'm having to deal with right now in my life. So I hope this was helpful. This is your sign. Go have that conversation. Go deal with the thing that's bothering you. Let me know what you're going and dealing with. I'd love to hear. I'd love to chat about it. But before I say bye, I also want to say, you got to take care of your mental health as well. You have to take care of it. And one way I've been taking care of mine is through meditation, daily meditation. Obviously, I'm a meditation teacher. It's something that I literally have a podcast for. And if I don't do that practice for myself, I find that I start to spiral. I feel like I start to get all over the place. There's an app that I started trying in LA and I absolutely love it. And it's called the Waking Up app. And I am now partnering with the Waking Up app and offering you guys a 14-day free trial for the Waking Up app. So if you are interested in giving it a shot, I'm personally such a huge fan of it. Sam Harris started it and I really loved their meditation introduction course. So definitely hop on there. If you want a 14-day free trial, the link is in the show notes and in the description. I'm so excited to be partnering with them. I hope you guys really, really enjoy this meditation app as much as I do. But guys, we'll catch you guys next week on the Visualize Meditations podcast. Bye. I hope today's episode left you feeling inspired and aligned. Make sure you're following the show so you never miss out on our weekly meditations or solo chats. I love connecting with you guys. Let's talk on Instagram and TikTok at Visualize Meditations, and we will catch you guys next week on the Visualize Meditations podcast. Bye.